Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline 27th of May 2023. This week's headlines. Jennifer Lawrence's Bread and Roses documentary gives Afghan women a voice. The BBC is ordered to the Delhi High Court over their Modi documentary. Bolivia seeks files about paedophile priests from the Pope. Israeli nationalists chant racist slogans on a march through Jerusalem. South Carolina approves a 6-week abortion ban for most women. A Christian school fired 2 staff members for including their pronouns in emails. Target removes some LGBTQ products after threats. Banned teacher told LGBT pupils that God could stop people being gay. "You only oppress women," the young woman says to the Taliban fighter. "I told you not to talk," he shouts back. "I will kill you right here." "Okay, kill me," she replies, raising her voice to match his. "You closed schools and universities. It's better to kill me." She had just been arrested following a protest and was about to be taken to a holding cell in Kabul. It's a scene from the documentary Bread and Roses, which explores the day-to-day lives of 3 women in the weeks following the takeover. The producer is the Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence, who is telling the BBC why this moment in the film is so significant to her. "My heart was beating so fast watching these women defy the Taliban," Lawrence says. "You don't see this side of the story, women fighting back, in the news every day, and it's an important part of our film and the stories of these women." She says it is devastating to think about the sudden loss of control Afghan women have endured. They currently have no autonomy within their country. It is so important for them to be given the opportunity to document their own story in their own way. The BBC has been ordered to the Delhi High Court over a defamation case about the documentary on Narendra Modi. The documentary faced on the Prime Minister's role in anti-Muslim violence in Gujarat in 2002, when he was Chief Minister of the state. The Gujarat-based group that filed the suit, Justice on Trial, told Reuters the documentary had defamed India. Although the documentary, India, the Modi Question, was broadcast on television only in the UK this January, India's government attempted to block people sharing the programme, calling it hostile propaganda and anti-India garbage with a colonial mindset. Weeks after the broadcast, the BBC's Delhi offices were raided by Indian income tax authorities, and in April, an investigation was opened into the broadcaster for alleged violations of foreign exchange rules. The President's Office of Bolivia has asked Pope Francis for files on sexual abuse committed by Catholic priests in the South American country following revelations of large-scale exploitation of children. Investigations have been opened after confessions were uncovered in the diary of a deceased priest, Alfonso Pedreas, that he had abused more than 80 minors in Bolivia, where he arrived in the 1970s. The revelations, published by the El País newspaper in Spain last month, have resulted in prosecutors opening at least 8 cases against priests, including Pedreas, and 3 others from Spain, Luis Maria Roma, Alejandro Maestre, and Antonio Guaset. All are deceased. Thousands of Israeli nationalists, some of them chanting racist slogans, paraded through Jerusalem's Old City in an annual celebratory day for Israelis that became one of humiliation for Palestinians living under occupation. The marchers, mostly male Orthodox teens and young men, were celebrating Israel's capture of East Jerusalem in 1967. The crowd waved blue and white Israeli flags and chanted slogans such as "Death to Arabs" and "We will burn your village." Authorities banned Palestinians from going through most of the gates into the Old City. One group of marchers threw rocks and bottles at members of the press covering the event, wounding 3 journalists, including a Palestinian reporter who was struck in the neck. Legislators in the US state of South Carolina have passed a bill that would ban nearly all abortions after around 6 weeks of pregnancy. In other words, before most women know that they are pregnant. The bill is expected to be signed into law by the state's Republican governor, Henry McMaster, but it will now face legal challenges. The majority of southern US states have curtailed abortion rights since the Supreme Court overturned the nationwide right to abortion last year. The vote in South Carolina passed mostly along party lines, but was opposed by the 3 Republican women in the state's Senate. Vicki Ringer, the Director of Public Affairs for Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, said her organization would file a request for a temporary restraining order after the bill is signed by Mr. McMaster. 27 Republican men voted today to ban abortion in South Carolina, Ms. Ringer wrote on Twitter. "I'm gutted because women will die. Full stop." The bill, known as the Fetal Heartbeat and Protection from Abortion Act, would ban abortions in most cases after early cardiac activity can be detected in a fetus or embryo, normally about 6 weeks into pregnancy. It allows for terminations up to 12 weeks in cases of rape and incest, and provides an exception for medical emergencies. Houghton University, a small school with about 1,000 students in upstate New York, fired 2 beloved hall residence directors because they included their pronouns in their work emails. Now the school is refusing to admit that's the reason Reagan Zelaya and Shua Wilmot were fired. Houghton is affiliated with the Wesleyan Church, a conservative Methodist denomination, and has been taking steps to make the school less welcoming to the types of students they don't want to see on campus. Since 2021, it has closed a multicultural student centre, an environmental sustainability program, and rescinded its recognition of an on-campus LGBTQ club after the club declined to promote more conservative views on sex and gender. When the Mosaic Multicultural Centre closed in March, after allegations that it was exclusive and unwelcoming, the school's newspaper asked Zelaya, the Women's Area Coordinator, for her thoughts. She didn't hold back. "If anything," Zelaya writes, "it feels like it just further demonstrates that the university is only interested in the kind of diversity that are convenient for marketing purposes. It is outrageous to have diversity as a pillar in our strategic plan when we are actively cutting the programs and spaces that help empower diverse students to succeed. US retailer Target is removing some items from its LGBTQ Pride collection after threats and confrontations in some stores. The company said the move would protect employees after what it described as volatile circumstances in some of its 2,000 shops. In some states, Target said it had moved Pride Month merchandise to the back of the store. The 2,000-item range includes rainbow motifs and Love is Love t-shirts. Other items include gender-fluid mugs and children's books titled Bye Bye Binary, Pride 123, and I'm Not a Girl. Since introducing this year's collection, we've experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work, Target said in a statement. Given these volatile circumstances, we are making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the centre of the most significant confrontational behaviour. A spokesperson said there has been an increase in incidents of Pride merchandise being thrown on the floor. While various Pride collection products are under review, the ones being immediately removed are under the Abprilin label, which has been criticised for using images of pentagrams, horned skulls, and other satanic visuals. A Christian teacher told LGBT pupils that God could stop people being gay, a panel has heard. Joshua Sutcliffe made anti-LGBT comments while employed as a maths teacher at the Cherwell School in Oxford, a professional conduct panel found during hearings which concluded this month. He also showed a video which criticised men who are passive or not masculine enough to pupils while teaching at St Aloysius College, a Catholic school in Islington. The Teaching Regulation Agency panel found Sutcliffe failed to safeguard the dignity and well-being of his pupils and was therefore in breach of requirements to uphold public trust in the profession and maintain high standards of ethics and behaviour. He was therefore prohibited from teaching indefinitely. The panel heard that while employed at the Cherwell School between 2015 and 2018, Sutcliffe interjected in a conversation between two pupils to talk about a person who, through God, had stopped being gay because it was wrong. Both pupils felt this comment was directed at them because they identify as LGBT. They felt Sutcliffe implied they needed to be cured. Sutcliffe also handed the same pupils a leaflet entitled Jesus and the Third Gender during a Pride March in 2017, the panel heard. The pupils said Sutcliffe would often talk about religious matters in maths lessons. This included making a comment that he was against gay marriage. This week's Free Thought Hour features a teenage guest. We will ask his opinion on what's important, how he thinks the world is being governed currently, and what he might do to improve things. And don't forget to watch Views on the News, our panel show about this very news. You've been watching Global Atheist News. The GAN team will be back next week. Thank you for watching.